Morning. Hi Christine, you're on quite early. It's good to see we're connected on YouTube. I am without my my laptop, so I'm relying on my iPad to show me everything. My little computer is in for a new battery, so I won't have it for a couple of days, so I'm hoping I can do everything that I normally do on my iPad. I'm sure I will hit things that I can't do. So it's quite a dark day. Hopefully we'll be able to see what we're doing. If not, I'll put a light on. But yes, so I was out early this morning, got absolutely drenched, even got wet feet this morning, even through my boots. Horrible, horrible day today. I don't mind the rain, but when it's grey and dismal like this, I do. Anybody on Facebook? Say hello. I know you're a little bit behind. It does lag a little bit. So we're going to be looking at the Woodware Spring Magnolia from Francoise. We did briefly look at it a couple of weeks ago, and I've actually done something with the piece that I stamped. So I thought we'd actually make a card with it. So I've got it in various different stages. So we'll go through bit by bit. I have got a delivery coming at sometime between 20 to 11 and 20 to 12. So I might just leave you looking at something if it comes during our live. Hopefully it won't, but you never know with DPD. So let's get rid of that. Morning, Judy. So we're running up on Facebook, which is nice. So should we crack on? And then if you're late, then you can always catch up. Morning, Caroline. So as I said, we're going to be using Francoise Reed's Spring Magnolia, which is a beautiful A6 stamp, lots of collage elements in there. Of course, there's the numbers in there because Francoise loves numbers. There's lots of little dots. There's a grungy definition of what a magnolia is. I absolutely adore magnolias. I desperately want one in my front garden instead of this horrible grass thing that's just huge. I think we need a mini digger to get it out, unfortunately. Yes, so I was just reading. So I really, really love it. Around here, because we're on the south coast, they are actually starting to flower already, which is nice. Hopefully, we might get a frost next week, but hopefully that changes and it doesn't take the flowers, because I think it's so sad when you've got, I mean, there are some absolutely huge magnolias around here, which makes me want one even more. It'd be a shame if the frost took the flowers. A few days off, isn't that lovely? Well, Caroline, it's better than them arriving when I want to go out this afternoon. It's driving me nuts, actually, because normally my deliveries from Creative Expressions come the day after I've ordered them, or they get dispatched the day after I've ordered them, but they're taking 2 days to dispatch at the moment, which is messing up my plans quite a bit. But anyway, anywho, so this is in stock on my website. I can't get any more at the moment because Francoise is actually on Hobby Maker today. I think she's on at 2 and 5, but do check the schedule. I mean, Francoise does some amazing demonstrations. Whatever you think of the shopping channels, it's really worth giving Francoise a watch. So we're going to be using that, and we're also going to be using her Casper stencil. Again, it's in stock. I can get some more of those, but I do have a good stock of those. But like I say, Francoise is on Hobby Maker, so once my stock of this is gone, unless some bounce back next week, it might be a couple of weeks before the stock available. You never know, never know. Hi Sharon. Right, so let's crack on and do some stamping. Like I say, I've actually got some stages done already. I was going to do this as a YouTube video, but then I thought, no, I'll do it as a live. Get me, I've already prepped next week's live as well. Get me. So this has been in my platform for a few weeks, actually. Right, let's pop this in. So I've got a piece of Sentimentally Yours Super Smooth watercolour card. Oh, I've got my Carter thing set up on Facebook. Where is it? So we are using Spring Magnolia. So the chatbot, I do think the chatbot's funny. So the chatbot, if you pop in 100 on Facebook, then I think on Messenger it starts you a cart off. Don't understand it, but you know it's there, so I'm using it. Wait. Right, that's going to fit, isn't it? Let's move those magnets up a bit. Okay, right, so we're going to stamp with Versafine Clair. We're not going to emboss, we're just going to stamp. You can use any watercolour resistant or sort of permanent ink. Let's get the words out, Julia. So Versafine Clair, Archival, all of those are going to work. Don't use things like Memento or Distress, because when you watercolour with them, then your line art's going to move because they are water reactive. So let's give this a good old. It is the super smooth card, does actually suck up the ink, so we probably need to go a couple of times. But that's fine. Obviously with this you can extend this design if you want to make it a square design just by adding some extra stamps, some of the inky numbers from Francoise, the little circles from Francoise, some of the notebook textures from Mr. M, Sentimentally Yours. You can use lots of little things to actually extend them. In fact, on the new stamp set called Sending Sunshine from Sue Wilson, there's a few textures on that as well. I think I've got one of those left. At the moment I can't get any more. Give this good old press. Sorry about the camera jumping, it does because of my desk. It sucked up that ink. I did re-ink this. Should we put let's see if we can put the Versafine Clair on the chatbot. I wonder if I put it on there. I didn't. Well, I'm rubbish, aren't I? No children to feed at school today. Why not? Are the children starving today then, isn't it? It's not half term, is it? No, it was half term last week, wasn't it? Give it another press. This doesn't have to be brilliant actually, because I'm going to stamp on top again. All will become clear in a mo. Oh, they've gone on a school trip. Oh. Let's hope it's not an outdoor trip, considering what the weather's like. Okay, so there's our Magnolia. So do look at your packaging, because you might think, oh, I've missed that off. But, you know, on your packaging it'll show, wherever I put it. On the packaging it shows that it's not there. I forgot to ink underneath, but we'll do that in a minute. See, that's missing. So the fact that it's missing there is right. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Doesn't matter, because the nature of this stamp means it, you know, it can be a little bit grungy. Let's just give it a bit of a heat set, because I forgot to do something. Getting all excited. So give it a blast. Oh, it's half term there, Judy, is it? Oh, down here we had it last week. So it's very important that if you want to stamp the image again once you've coloured in, that you leave the stamp in the platform, and that you butt it up into the corner. I think I did. And also that you don't die cut. On my finished card that I'm going to do, I die cut because I forgot. But you know, it happens to us all. I was watching Tim Holtz's video on the second set of sets 4, 5 and 6 of the watercolour pencils, and he did exactly the same thing. He forgot. You get excited and you forget. I do. do some inking because I forgot. With Casper. They will be very wet, very wet. Yeah, I got very wet today. So let's use, I think I use this. I'm going to try and do it the same as I did it before. So we want some kit. I'm going to go Kitsch Flamingo. It's very light pink. It's not as light as Spun Sugar, but it's very light pink. But I'm going to go that because I only want it to be quite subtle. Hopefully it won't smudge. If it smudges, it doesn't matter. I've got another one. So there's 3 designs on Casper. And you're just getting a hint of them. I'm using one of the little tiny applicators. Hopefully we'll get some more stock next month. I do. So it's just very subtle in the background. I like that. And then we're going to have this one here. Oh, dirty fingers. Good job that bit's going to get cut off, isn't it? How did I get dirty fingers down there? Goodness knows. Isn't it odd how half term's different? I wonder if, you know, like some places like Centre Parks put the prices up during school holidays. I wonder if they have them increased for 2 weeks. If half terms at different times in different parts of the country. It's just wrong, isn't it? You get penalised for not taking your children out of school. Right, there we go. And we've got a bit of the other design there. Just in the background, it's just very subtle. Like that. Happy with that. Obviously that will wash off, and that's distress ink rather than distress oxide. Normally I stamp it on top. That's that and that. Right, and we're going to do some colouring in. I'm not going to do a lot of colouring in because I've got one coloured in. I've got loads coloured in. And we're going to be using, let's see, we're going to be using Pick Raspberry from set 1. And a little bit of peel paint from set 1 as well. And also, here's Vintage Photo, it's Rusty Hinge. Vintage Photo must be on that. From set 2, I've taken my inserts out. Drive me nuts. We're going to use Kitsch Flamingo and we're going to use Vintage Photo. Those are the 4 pencils I'm using. I haven't organised mine into colours yet. So for the Magnolia, I'm just going to take some of the Pick Raspberry and just add very lightly some of the Pick Raspberry down here. It is highly pigmented, so we don't need to press very hard. If you press hard, sometimes you find that the black ink moves a wee bit and then you get mud. You don't want to do that. And I am going to add a little bit of the Kitsch Flamingo. I'm going to add more in a minute as well. Just lightly. If you do it too hard, then you keep the lines stay. So you can see that's all I've done. You can barely see the Kitsch Flamingo because it's very light. Then we're going to take watercolour what's it called? Water brush. Water brush, Julia. For heaven's sake. And we're going to just do circular motions to move that Pick Raspberry around. So. Just so we've got some coming up there. And we're going to, have I got that on? Yeah. Let's clean that off. And then we're going to use, that's not enough. I've got some Kitsch Flamingo shavings that I've made into a watercolour in a palette. I do have some of the palettes in stock. And I've just written on the, with a permanent marker, I've written which ones they are. These are the ones I've used so far. I haven't got any pick raspberry in here. You can go direct from the pencil as well. You can pick up some and add it that way. But I prefer to make a watercolour out of it. And see, it just takes a little while to wake up. And then we're going to merge Kitsch Flamingo into it. I'll get rid of that line in a minute, because it is much lighter than the pick raspberry. Because if you look at magnolias, certainly the pink ones, they fade out. They're darker here at the top of the petal, at the bottom of the petal, and they fade out and they become lighter. So that's what I'm trying to represent. Obviously it needs to dry. It's really pretty. So that's how I've done all my magnolias. Leave that to one side to dry. Then with the peel paint, we do the what's it first? Vintage photo first. So I'm just taking some of the vintage photo. They are quite easy to use, but because of the pigment in them, sometimes the line art goes a little bit milky. So that's why you want to stamp again on top. It's not always possible, and you forget, and it's just a different look. So it's not wrong if you forget, it's just different. I'm going out the lines a little bit because I'm trying to do it quick. So if you want it quite pale, you can just pull that colour in. Obviously the more colour that, as you use the colour more, in other words, there's more colour on your brush, the darker it's going to be. Really easy to do. And then some of the peel paint you can take. Some of the leaves. And again, you can pull that out. This will be quite subtle. There are darker greens, so there's Rustic Wilderness is in the first 3 sets as well. But obviously you want sets 4, 5 and 6 for the complete range of distress. Watch Tim's videos because they are very good. I haven't watched it all yet, I've only watched the first hour. So I'm just taking a little bit from my palette. So I haven't wet this, I'm just grabbing a little bit with my water brush, just to add a little bit of darker there. Okay. So that's how I've coloured in. And then leave that open so that it sets down again. You don't want to shut it up until you finish, because otherwise the water doesn't evaporate and it could move around. So taking a pink, where's it gone? I had it here. There it is. I think this is from set 2. It's a watercolour blending brush pen. And I'm just going to take I should have put my chat. Let's put my chat bar up. I forget these. There's the Distress watercolour pencils. That's set 1. So that's number 101. And then 102 is set 2. So I've just used those 2. I haven't used set 3. And then Phil's watercolour blending brush pens. That's set 2, so that's 103, whatever that means. I have no idea. I would like to see it work at some point, because I just don't know. So we're just going around the edge here. Because we're on watercolour card, the pens and the pencils move really nicely. And because it's super smooth, you get a really good image. That's clean. And then we're going to just move that colour around. Gets rid of some of the harshness, and it's lighter in the middle. And then we do the same here. Pick up some of the colour, and it will move the distress from underneath as well, which is quite nice actually. Okay, so you carry on until you've all coloured in, and you wait for it to dry. So when it's 100% dry, and I've got one here. Now this isn't actually a watercolour card, and I can tell because of what's happened on the back. On the back of here, you can't see anything. I mean, you can see a slight dent until that's dry, because that's got the most water in it there. But that'll flatten out. But there's nothing gone through, and you can see the slight difference in colour as well. I don't know why this was on my watercolour shelf, but I do my head in, I really do. So we're going to pop this back in, because you can see that some of the line art is a little bit dull. It's not as vibrant as it should be. So we're going to pop this back in here and hope that everything's going to work. And this sort of thing is, you could do loads of batches of this. I think this would be a nice Mother's Day card, this. So again, we're going to ink up with the VersaFine Clear Nocturne. Obviously you can use a brown, or you can use a dark grey, whatever colour you want. I have noticed, actually, I spotted on Paula Pascal's Instagram feed that there are some new colours of VersaFine Clear from Sukaniko. I've looked on my suppliers and I can't find them yet. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we get them. And as soon as we have them, I will get them in stock. As soon as they have them, I will get them in stock, because I want them. I need them. I've been wanting new VersaFine colours for ages, so I'm really pleased that they've got some new ones. There's always a sweet spot in a stamp, and I know mine's about there. It's to do with the pressing and your stamping platform and all that and malarkey. Yeah, that's not... I could tell there's ink on the stamp there. Where have I got ink? That looks pretty good actually. So can you see that that's so much darker and so much more vibrant because you've stamped on top? It's really lovely, isn't it? Really, I wish I'd have done that on the one that we're going to use, but you know, you forget. Even the best people like Mr. Holt forget. I saw it, I forgot. Let's just pop that in there so I don't get my platform really messy. I'm loving that. See? As long as you butt it into the corner, it's just perfect. Isn't it beautiful? And compare that against the one we are going to use, which is on watercolour card, but it hasn't been stamped on top. Can you see the difference? How much more vibrant that image is to this one. And this one as well, what I've done is I have put some splats of gesso on, which I'm not going to do now. And what I've also done is I've taken a clear Stardust pen, and this is wet, so I'm not going to do it on that one. Let's do it on this one for now. And just gone over the dots. Let's check this is working. Paper. Yeah. I've just gone over the dots. It doesn't have to be perfect with a clear star pen. And so you can see we've got some, can you see the, oh, it's not showing up, is it? Hang on, let me see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. Oh, 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 oh. There's some glitter on the dots, you can't see. Maybe if the sun was out you'd be able to see it. It is really beautiful without stamping, if you remember, obviously. Like I say, I've just used Sentimentally Yours gesso and I've just splattered some on. And the reason why I couldn't overstamp is because before I remembered that I wanted to overstamp, I cut it out, and I've cut it out using one of my favourite sample die sets, which is called, it's this one, Layered Ripped Papers, which I use a lot actually. Did I put that on here? Oh, for heaven's sake. I'm sure this chatbot decides to just turf some of them off. I'll definitely put it on there. Anyway, it's called Layered Ripped Papers, Shabby Basics. And so I've used the biggest die. This is the biggest die. And I really like this die as well. I use this on the Viola demo that I did, which is available on YouTube. Really love that. So that's all ready now, and it needs to be inked around as well, so we can do that in a moment. I've also got a With Love, because I thought this would be quite nice to have with it. And I'm going to overstamp with the Doodle Dainty Hearts from Sentimentally Yours. Okay, let's take this here. I am going to grab a little mat as well. Grab this one. I'll move my magnets because they'll all jump together and that drives me nuts. So this is from the frame sentiments from Sentimentally Yours with Love. So you get a frame, lots of different layers to it, lots of different layers, and some buttons, and you get the actual With Love, and then you get the shadow for the With Love as well, all separate words. 13 dies in the set. I think I've got them on at a discount at the moment. Let's see what Chatbot says. $17.99, so they are definitely discounted. So I've got a piece of copy paper here. I've done this loads of times, but I really like it, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to tie it in with Kitsch Flamingo. We want a acrylic block. This is one of the essential acrylic blocks. I did see it on there. Are we using that? Doodle Hearts. Doodle Dainty Hearts. And you want to make sure that the hearts are up the right way. It's a really good idea that you do that. And where's the acrylic blocks? There's the acrylic blocks. Roll it on there so you don't get any what's it called, air bubbles. And my hearts need to be that way up. Right, let's do that like that. Oh. Otherwise I'm going to make a mess, aren't I? Let's do it this way, because I like stamping on the wok. And we're going to use Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide this time. don't need that much, but never know where I'm going to position it. And I'm going to give it a slight mist with water so that the oxide wakes up a wee bit. And then we are going to stamp. And we've got that cushion underneath, which helps. Pretty. Just grab them. Oh, that's so sweet. Look at that. Oh, one away. Isn't that sweet? And then we've got the width. That's even sweeter, actually. Come on. Really pretty. Obviously that will wash off with water. You've got a semi background there. You could use the extra little bits for die cutting for flowers and things if you wanted to. There's no way I'm doing it, but you know. Where are we at? I think we're good. I think we just need to stick this down. This will be a quick demo today because I've got this delivery coming. So it'll make up for all the ones where I've gone like an hour and a quarter instead of an hour. So just going to dip this in. Mind you, I've got a faff yet. Get rid of some of the excess. Pop that on the black shadow. Really makes it pop. And then we'll dip the love. I'll put my fingers in, they've got all the extra glue there. Pretty. I do need to do some more dipping and gluing, but I'm not ready for it yet, so we'll get rid of that and we'll do it again separately. So I'm not doing my own background for this, I'm actually using a paper. This, I think, is, I can't remember what it's called. It's something like wood grain something or others. It's a Sentimentally Yours paper pad. And there were lots of different colours and there's different widths as well. And you can obviously have the wood grain that way or we're going to have it this way. This is going to go on an A5 card, a proper card that opens and everything. But we want to ink around the edges of that. And we want to ink around the edges of our topper as well. And I'm going to go for Kitsch Flamingo, and if it's not dark enough we'll do it in Pink Raspberry, so we'll see what we prefer. And again we're going oxide. The handle. This is a Woodware applicator tool and sponge, which are very cheap, they're only $3.99. And you can get replacement sponges as well. So let's see. Oh, this will be dark enough. This will be lovely. Because it's oxide, it's a little bit kind of milky. Going at an angle, about a 45-degree angle. You can use round ones if you want to, but I do quite like the Woodware ones, and they're cheap. And they do last a long time. I keep mine in a little plastic bag with the name of the ink on it. So I've got a big bag with lots of these. That's nicely inked. And then we go around the edge of our topper, which is 100% dry because it's been done for weeks. Nice and girly and spring-like in this horrible weather day. The rain's beating down all the daffodils, which is really annoying. Something's eating my daffodils as well, the actual flowers, which is very, very annoying. Okay, there's our topper with a bit of ink. And we can now construct wood grain accents. Yes, Judy, I think you're right. Well, it can be used all times of year, can't it? It doesn't have to be just at Christmas, which makes things all the better, doesn't it? Because you've got more value for money. They did have Christmas colours though, didn't they? Because there were reds and greens in there. This is one of the more neutrals that I'm using, obviously. Right, let's stick this together. Let's stick our topper on first. And I've just cut a mat out just ever so slightly bigger. Obviously it's not crinkled because this is the biggest die in the set, to get most of the image in. It's about, I think it's about an A6 size die, the A6 size stamp, so it's perfect. Let's see if I can get this evenish around, so we've got a little bit of black showing, just a little bit. I want to pop this under here for a minute. I love Woodware products as well. I've been a stockist of Woodware since almost the first website I ever had. So I think that's when was that? That's before I opened my shop, I think. Certainly when I opened my shop in 2008 when I had one. And it was before then that I was using Woodware, I think. Yes, it was, definitely. So, yeah, a long time. And Francoise and Jane were designing for Woodware then, and they still are. So longevity definitely shows, doesn't it? How good they are. Yeah, black is a good pop element, definitely. Right, so now we're going to pop some little bits to put on. This is just a piece of the, it's a bit of a waste really, but it's a piece of the super smooth card, folded in half to make an A5 card blank. I am trying to make proper cards because they do go for sale at the Maker's House. And my next workshop at the Maker's House, which is on Sunday the 3rd of March, so not long now, so it's a week on Sunday. One of the themes is actually flower. The other one is bees and rainbows, where we've been mainly using fairy hug stamps, but obviously bees and flowers go all together anyway, so if you want to do flowers all day you can do. There's certainly plenty of stamps that keep you going for weeks rather than just a day. So I think I might have to repeat the floral element. And we do social stamping as well on the first Wednesday of every month, and that's a session where I just bring stamps from my stash and inks and pens and stuff, and we just sit around drink coffee or tea and have a chat. I mainly just chat. I hardly ever stamp because I make a mess when I'm with people for some reason. So that's going to go on there like that. And our with love's going to go down here. And these lines help me kind of line it up. And what I thought we'd do is I've got this die set here. Where is it? This one. Oh, looking at heart spread corners. We've got 3 sizes of hearts, and I've used the middle one and the smallest one. And I've cut them out. Oh, if I can pick them up. Don't get my tweezers. Let's find that on the chat box. There it is. That's got a discount on it as well, automatically. I think it's discounted by a couple of pound. So I've cut some of those out. Cut 2 pairs out. And what you get is with this is you get the frame, and then of course you've got the bit that falls out the middle as well. So you get like a twofer, which is really cool to have. I like twofers. I like threefers as well, but twofers are great. That's all right, June. That's fine, no problem. So I thought we'd we'll stick these down first so we get them everything in the right place. I was going to get some pearls. I'll get some pearls in a minute. So I thought we'd have like a pair there maybe, like that, or ish. And then I thought we'd have a pair down here like so. See, it's a Mother's Day card, isn't it? Well, it could be. Right, so that's where we're going to have stuff. Right, so I'll stick this now. And I will put a pearl in each corner probably, but I need to spend time going and finding my pale pink. I don't want you to have to wait and watch me get that. Oh, put it on the right way. We have got it right in the right way. Yes, we have. That's good. That's always so disappointing when you've made yourself an Australian. I call them Australian cards. I don't mean to be rude to people in Australia, but they're upside down basically. And obviously Australia's the other side of the globe, isn't it? So that's what I mean. So now we can do our with love. Actually, let's leave the love there because that's where we're going to have it. We'll stick the with first. And because we're on the shadow, we've got more space to actually glue. Hopefully that's straight. Straight. It's as straight as it's going to be. So less is more. You don't need loads of glue. With love. Oh, bang the camera. Of course I have. I'll make sure that's straight. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's nice with the hearts in, isn't it? And then we'll dip these. There's no way I can get the glue around that. These craft sheets are brilliant. If you haven't got one, you need one because they're just fab for cleaning everything off. Everything comes off them. If you get alcohol inks on them, you just use blending solution and that'll fetch the alcohol inks off. Most things just come off with water, so I'm just dipping that. we dip the smaller one. They're super fine, these. Obviously they coordinate with the sprigs as well, the heart sprigs. And then we'll have this one down here. You watch, DPD will just come in the next minute. Just before I've finished. Quick, Julia. Let's dip that in my... I'm just dipping it off screen in my kitchen roll. And then last one. And that'll go, let's put it there. That's it. Let's clean that off if I dip anything in it. Definitely a few pearls or gems or whatever I can find that's closest to fit in each corner. But what I'll probably do is put it under my mat to begin with so that it flattens everything out and nothing comes up. But hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget you'll find everything over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and do watch Francoise's demos on Hobby Maker today. As I said, I think she's on at 2 and 5, I think, but just check the schedule. And if you're struggling to watch it, you can just watch it on their website online or on YouTube as well. So it is actually quite nice to watch. Yeah, I will see you next week at 10 o'clock for another demo. Thank you for watching. Bye.